Nowadays, games are expensive enough that you can all but guarantee licensing deals are limited to in-game billboards and the odd bit of product placement. Not so back in the olden days when games only cost tuppence halfpenny to make. Back then, food and drink licenses in particular were amongst the most popular games available. What's more, they were catnip for the big companies, allowing them to market direct to children. After all, if there's one thing kids love more than video games, it's nagging parents to buy them sweets or take them to fast food restaurants. Take Coolspot for example. In spite of the entire game being an advert for 7-Up, even having you collecting letters to spell out marketing slogans, Mega Magazine rated it the 28th greatest Mega Drive game of all time. In an interesting twist though, the UK version switched out the bottle of 7-Up for a generic soft drink, because at the time Fido Dido was the established mascot for the drink on this side of the Atlantic. Confusingly, Mr. Dido had a game of his own out for the Mega Drive the same year, 1993, but it was nowhere near as well loved. Coolspot's publisher Virgin Interactive did a good line in licensed tie-ins that also happened to be great games. Global Gladiators was a bizarre mishmash of environmental messaging and relatively subtle McDonald's marketing. Fortunately, it was also a really good platformer. In order to balance out this subliminal messaging, we've added some of our own to ensure this is an entirely unbiased broadcast. Less famous is the previous game starring Mick and Mac, MC Kids, which I remember by its European title McDonald Land. It was a reasonably straightforward Mario clone with the added quirk that your character could flip orientation and run the levels upside down. McDonald's were reportedly unhappy that the game was too difficult for the target market of children, so didn't publicise it, but it's entirely possible that the men in suits were just holding the joystick the wrong way round or something. It was the 90s after all. Even British brands were keen to get in on the action, which is why we were treated to puzzle game Pushover, sponsored by crisp brand Quavers. So joining main character G.I. Ant was Colin Curley, who is, I don't know, some kind of dog in a yellow suit. The plot, such as it is, involved Colin losing his packets of Quavers down an anthill, a problem somehow solved by toppling dominoes. Dominoes. It feels like there's a food brand that would have been a better fit. It'll come to me.
We have a nutritional development centre in the caverns of Bezoic.
Elsewhere you had Chex Quest, which was a bizarre reskin of Doom built to promote the American cereal, approximately 400 M&M's games, and, if you're unlucky enough to live in Japan, Pepsi Man, who is terrifying enough to make you a Coke drinker for life. If this is all giving you a warm, fuzzy, nostalgic glow, you'll be pleased to hear that the food license isn't completely dead. Doritos have released 2 games, Dash of Destruction and Crash Course, on Xbox 360 via Xbox Live Arcade. The difference is that they rightly identified that it would be a bit gauche to charge for thinly disguised advertising. So they were free. Hurrah! Let's all buy Doritos to say thanks. Cheer up, Jeff, they don't taste that bad. America also got World Gone Sour in 2012, based around Sour Patch Kids sweets and with a theme tune from Method Man, which sounds like this.
These kids are cool to the day that they shoot down. That's bad news, now they're in a bad mood, damn. First they're sour, then they're sweet little dudes. And they won't find the power to their food. Now eat 'em up. Eat 'em up. Shut up and eat 'em up.
Of course, full games are only half the story. There have been some bizarre moments in product placement throughout the years, and this is our by no means comprehensive list. One of the more famous instances is Crazy Taxi's fast food locations, though you have to wonder, if someone has enough excess cash to get a taxi to KFC, why are they eating at KFC in the first place? I call this the Sanders paradox. Cheery platformer Robo Cod featured heavy product placement for penguins, particularly in its cake and sweet themed level. Strange given that penguins are the natural enemy of fish. Similarly, Britain's slightly shonky answer to Sonic the Hedgehog, Zool, was a big fan of Chupa Chups lollies, even though they are fatally poisonous to his alien biology. Maybe. It's probably strangest when product placement collides with an existing license. Take Biker Mice from Mars on the SNES, where Snickers exists as a power-up in the game. Last time we checked, Snickers bars don't cause you to glow and convey powers of invincibility. Well, unless those are very late-stage symptoms of an allergic reaction to peanuts. Given that they have enough spare money to sponsor a man to skydive from space, I suppose it's a little more fitting that Red Bull is still around in the 22nd century. Still, strange to see it appear so prominently in Judge Dredd, Dredd vs. Death. Finally, our favourite and most incongruous piece of product placement is Sam Fisher popping a piece of Airwaves chewing gum right before the first mission in Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Yeah, it sort of makes us wonder why Sam's position was never given away by the strong smell of eucalyptus that followed him around.